From Greater Nevada Field in downtown Reno, the Reno 1868.
Sean Kane here. See, I pledge allegiance to the flag. The United
The sun is out. It's a blistering summer evening in northern Nevada. From Greater Nevada Field tonight, it's a United Soccer League showdown in the Western Conference. Reno 1868 plays host to the LA Galaxy 2. And hi, everybody. Welcome inside the broadcast booth alongside Sean Kane. I'm Alex Margulies. Should be a lot of fun here tonight, Sean, as we break right into our key players of the match. And for the visitors in the LA Galaxy, Cory Hertzog has been outstanding.
Yeah, an overseas player coming from the Dutch League in the Netherlands. He's been huge for the Galaxy this year. He's going to be an important player for them tonight.
For Hertzog, 4 goals to lead the way for Los Dos. On the other side of the pitch, talk about a guy that has been scoring goals. Cory Hertzog has been on fire for Reno. 6 goals in his last 5 matches. He'll be called upon for sure tonight.
Yeah, a USL veteran. He's been around this league a lot, even some MLS experience. It's a good time for him to come on. He's going to be a vital part for this team in the attack tonight, especially without Brian Brown in the lineup.
Brown still serving some time with his home country with Jamaica, and Hertzog certainly will be a big factor at the top for Ian Russell and Reno 1868. We'll have much more coming up after this break. We'll have starting lineups and kickoff from Greater Nevada Field. United Soccer League's action. Reno 1868 and the LA Galaxy 2 next. All right, back here inside Greater Nevada Field. Absolutely beautiful night, and a big crowd has packed it in for the action as Reno tries to continue their home dominance. They have been unbeaten this year, coming in 5-3-5. They've gotten 20 points on the year, and that is good for tied for 7th in the tightly packed Western Conference. The Galaxy, they're looking for their first win since May the 4th. They picked up a couple of draws and 4 losses in their 6 matches. All right, Sean, let's take a look at tonight's starting lineups. We'll begin with the Galaxy, and we talked about Korniuk being here, but in fact, we found out a few minutes ago that he has actually been called up to compete with the U.S. under-23 team, so no Korniuk, and in fact, they're missing 15 of the 22 goals that they have had scored this year. Frank Lopez and Augustine Williams at the top will lead the way. On the other side for Reno 1868, talked about Cory Hertzog. Also great to see the return of Danny Mazovsky, the 22-year-old from Henderson. Had 5 goals last year, has been battling injuries. Certainly a guy to look out for tonight.
Yeah, you're looking at both of these lineups. One for the Galaxy, as you said, missing some key players. So a really young lineup tonight for the Galaxy, coming off a 6 straight matches without a win, I should say. So they're struggling, trying to find their groove. On the other side, 1868 missing, again, we said Brian Brown in that pregame. A lot of goals from him, but Hertzog and the rest of that squad should be able to pick up the slack there and take.
So the Reno 1868 in the blue home jerseys. LA Galaxy in the road whites. Also making his very first career start, Benjamn Galindo Cruz, the 19-year-old from Mexico, joined the team in the offseason on loan from Chivas. His father, the legend, Benjamn Galindo, national team member in Mexico, a star in his home country, and Galindo getting the start tonight at center back along with Zach Carroll as Reno will try and push here on the opening possession. And for folks who don't know you, Sean, you spent this last year at the University of Nevada. You have some soccer experience in college, both Division I and Division III. Would tell people a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, mainly, came up playing Division III soccer was most of my time, a good 4 years at Adrian College in southeastern Michigan. Really enjoyed my time there, and just a big fan of the sport and college athletics in general, which is what brought me out here to the University of Nevada.
And you are very familiar with Zach Carroll.
Yeah, so grew up playing with him in terms of kind of a third-party training organization in Michigan. Next Level Training is what it's called, and kind of got to know him there a little bit when he was at Michigan State and playing in the youth national team.
Some contact there from Carroll as he collided with Augustine Williams. And they did blow a whistle against Reno.
I think they might get Carroll for handling here inside the box. As you see the ref in the background there, the AR up on the 18-yard box, that's the signal for when it's a penalty kick.
Wow, so that is a massive break for the LA Galaxy in the opening 90 seconds. Take another look here. What'd you see?
That's certainly contact. The big question there is it ball to hand or hand to ball? And if it's hand to ball, then you gotta blow the whistle as the referee. But if it's ball to hand, there's a little bit of an argument is that it wasn't intentional, and then you can let it go. That's close. That's really close. It really depends on whether or not the referee thought that the Galaxy player, didn't see who it was, created a kind of some contact to force a handball there.
So Frank Lopez, who has 2 goals this year, the 24-year-old from Cuba, a chance to give the Galaxy the early advantage here in the opening minutes. A controversial penalty call early in this match. Lopez against Matt Bersano. And Lopez buries it in the right corner. And the LA Galaxy, again, looking for their first win in nearly 2 months. They take an early 1-0 lead.
Yeah, we talk about a team struggling to score goals, especially with who they have out tonight in a couple of their front runners for goals on the team. It's probably good for them, obviously, to get a goal early here, whichever way it happened to come.
Well, Galaxy and Lopez taking advantage as Williams got deep into Reno territory, and that call against Zach Carroll, the captain of this Reno 1868 team, and Reno will play from behind, a position they're not used to here in their home confines especially. Reno almost always getting on top first. We'll see if they can answer here quickly in the first half as that one is given away. And contact again, and this time it appears it was once again Carroll against Williams. Carroll running away, Williams slow to get up, and the head referee chasing after Zach Carroll.
Yeah, Zach's still probably upset a little bit about that original call, still in the referee's ear.
Kalen Rodasov is our head ref tonight. Michael Campanere, Stephen McConigal, and Jamie Padilla will assist. As frustrating as it is for Reno to be down early, they haven't been a team that has been great protecting big leads this season, including in their last match where they went up 2-0 against San Antonio and gave up 3 goals in the rest of the match to drop that one 3-2, and that has been kind of a theme for Reno this year. So perhaps playing behind maybe gives the team a little bit of a different edge, and we'll see how this Reno team reacts to the early adversity against the Galaxy.
Yeah, despite the goal being within the first 2 minutes of the game, it still gives you a sense of urgency. You know, you want to get it back. You don't want to fall behind even more, and you don't want time to run off the clock. You know, you want to get this one, make it 1-1 as quickly as possible and make it a new game.
Bersano leaping up to snatch that one. Bersano had recorded 40% of his starts with clean sheets, 17 clean sheets in 43 games during his Reno 1868 career. He has been unbelievable in goal, and obviously that one wiped away quickly tonight. But Bersano, a mainstay since 2017, tonight making his 8th appearance of the season. Carroll sending it down the field. Here's Cory Hertzog. Hertzog laying it in there for Mendiola, going to a cross. He was trying to find Mazovsky. And the Galaxy able to get it out of harm's way.
Yeah, starting to see Reno settle into this game a little bit with some continued possession, and Galaxy kind of dropping into that steady 4-4-2 that you guys saw in that pregame lineup.
Community expertise and the medicine of movement, that's what Reno Orthopedic Clinic is all about. It's why ROC is proud to be the official jersey sponsor of your Reno 1868 FC. Good ball in for Sam Galindo. Galindo's got Hertzog. Hertzog buries it, and we are tied. What a run from Reno and Cory Hertzog, who has been on fire with his 7th goal in the last 5 matches.
Yeah, great example of going from steady possession into the attack from 1868 here, coming down the left side from that left back position. Just a quick ball in behind, beats the defense, and then obviously the lay across to Hertzog for the finish.
Well, that's got to feel good for Reno, having that early blow on the penalty kick to quickly respond. And you talked about earlier LA Galaxy's issues when it comes to scoring goals, but where they really have struggled has been stopping the opposition. You're talking about a team that has now allowed 32 goals this season in only 15 matches. That's the second most in the entire USL. So I think Reno comes into this match confident they're going to be able to put up some points tonight.
Especially with the way Reno can score. We've seen it throughout the season, especially at home. You know, 3 goals a game, roughly, what it's been around. So certainly it could get ugly, but also, you know, any given day, right?
Well, and I think it's kind of fresh on, I think, many people's minds. Reno players, maybe some of the Galaxy players that were around then, but never forget that inaugural season in 2017 when Reno blanked the LA Galaxy 9-0 in a match that will go down in history.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, as someone that's experienced that kind of smacking, if you will, certainly something that never goes away. No matter how many years or how many teams you go to, you remember something like that.
Adrian Vera, who's in the Galaxy midfield, was on the pitch that night, as were many of the Reno players, including Seth Kasipli, who plays that ball forward and finds Hertzog. Now he's got Galindo and broken up, and frustrations. You can see it on the body language and both kind of physically and verbally from the LA Galaxy defenders. They were not happy with that. Michael Gallagher, the captain, able to get that one away from Sam Galindo.
Yeah, that just comes from a turnover in the midfield. You can't turn the ball over when you're in your third of the field. It results in, obviously, fast break opportunity for 1868.
Here's Seth Kasipli from the corner. Brent Richards trying to redirect it with his head and just wide of the net. As it'll be a goal kick now for Eric Lopez. Or excuse me, it's Abraham Romero getting the start in goal, not Lopez.
$1868 right up top on the box there, their front three, if you will, making Lopez knock it, or excuse me, Romero knock it long.
Well, and what Reno loves to do best is pressure the opposing defense, and they're a team that thrives off of mistakes made in the midfield. You talked about you can't give it away where they did, and that is where Reno really feasts on teams.
Yeah, the ability for Reno to win that ball in that middle third there and then break out into an attack is really a key when you come to this kind of stuff, because the Galaxy are very, if you will, undisciplined when it comes to, turning the ball over in the middle and then getting into their formation on defense. So it's very easy for them to break out and score.
Some great space that time for Jorge Hernandez, who put a blast into it with his left foot, the 18-year-old from Riverside, California. Good shot, but right on goal to Matt Bersano, who knocks it away and keeps this one tied 1-1. First of two games within a span of a couple days for Reno 1868. They'll be back on Tuesday against Red Hot Phoenix, the defending Western Conference champions. And Phoenix has been on a tear as of late. They picked up a victory, or they're, leading currently right now against Orange County. That's a rematch of last year's Western Conference title game. Right now it is a 1-0 Phoenix lead. If they can come away with 3 points tonight, that would vault them into a tie for first place in what has been a very tightly packed Western Conference with 10 different teams separated by only 7 points.
It's been a fun one this year in the USL, hasn't it?
I mean, it is anyone's conference at this point, and it's still a lot of soccer to go, but getting pretty close to the midway point, and just about everybody, with the exception of maybe Tacoma, who have really struggled with 11 losses on the year. Pretty much everybody else is still in the mix to make the postseason, and that's what you like to see, is keeping that competitiveness and it being kind of equal across the board. It's created a lot of fun matches, I know for sure, here at home.
Yeah, certainly, and I think it's something the American game has missed a lot over the last few years. There's been a lot of giants, a lot of titans at the top, especially, in the MLS and on its way down. So it's really nice to see a kind of more spread out competitive level this year in the USL.
Good ball movement here. Another chance for Reno. And Reno takes the lead. Danny Mazovsky makes it 2-1.
Same thing, another turnover. in the middle of the park, essentially, for the Galaxy. 1868 picks it up, and right away they're looking forward to go. Obviously, you see the slip there from the center back and the captain of the Galaxy, but I think it was inevitable regardless. I still think Mazovsky's getting to that ball and scoring.
So Reno unfazed by the early giveaway on the penalty kick as the Galaxy took a 1-0 lead inside of 2 minutes. But Reno with a goal from Hertzog and Mazovsky in the opening 13.
So now it's important for the Galaxy to just settle back down. You know, Reno knows where their weakness is. They turn the ball over in the middle of the park. You just see here, and immediately they're looking forward. The Galaxy, A, need to keep the ball. It can't be such an easy turnover every time. And then B, if they do turn it over, because it's a part of the game and it happens, they need to quickly get back into their formation, get compact, so that they're not getting beat on the break like they've done the last 2 times.
Richards not giving up on the ball near the end line. Gallagher trying to clear it, finds Hernandez. And pressure continues from Reno. Mendiola gets a piece of it, goes into the arms of the keeper, Romero. Reno 3-0-3 in their home confines this year. A place where they have played well in their 3-year team history. Chance now to pick up 3 points tonight as Kisipli clears it out of harm's way. I'll give the Galaxy credit because, you know what? We see a lot of teams come into Greater Nevada fields and they sit back and they want to just play defense and try and play for a draw. We're not seeing LA simply sit back and be willing to just play defense. They have been fairly aggressive themselves early, although it has resulted in some mistakes. As another opportunity comes up. It's in, but the flag is up. It would have been a goal for Sergio Rivas, but waved off.
Yeah, I think the sideline AR got that one right. Looked like he was a couple steps off. We'll get a good look. Yeah, I think just barely. Not by much.
Rivas, who's got 1 goal in the year, almost had a second, as once again, Reno taking advantage of those mistakes of the Galaxy, simply just trying to get it cleared out, and Reno able to kind of sneak up in the midfield and get the takeaway.
Yeah, well, you certainly don't want to just be willing to knock the ball long every time. Like that, for me and for a lot of those that know the game, you know, you want to have possession. You want to, because you can't score
right
when you have possession, right? Only you can score. The problem with that, though, is it's hurting them because they're turning the ball over in that kind of portion of the field where you don't want to, as opposed to maybe just settling and knocking it long, getting yourself kind of into the rhythm of the play.
Into the 17th minute here tonight. Reno 1868, the LA Galaxy 2. Frank Lopez, a penalty kick goal in the 3rd minute. Reno with goals in the 7th by Hertzog and 13th by Mazovsky. For Mazovsky, it's his first goal of the year as he has been limited to playing time with some injuries. And that is now the 6th goal of Danny's career with Reno 1868. Last year, 5 goals as a rookie after being drafted in the 2nd round by the San Jose Earthquakes. Coming out of UNLV. Did not sign with San Jose, but did pick up a contract here with Reno. Here comes another wave from the Galaxy. Raquejo. Lacroix, some contact to the box, and they're going to let that one go. Back to Brent Richards. Had some bodies forward. He was trying to avoid offsides. Now it's Mazovsky looking to center. Galindo and Hertzog were in there, and it gets cleared out by the Galaxy back four. Here's Frank Lopez. Lacroix in front of him. He's got Williams in the box. Here's Hernandez. Mendiola gets it back out to center. Reno patient as Richards will send it back to Zach Carroll.
Yeah, certainly patient indeed. Reno content up 2-1 to just kind of setting the ball here and see where things go from there, like this and behind.
Play it up to Hertzog, who is trying to get around Schultz. And now a throw-in coming for L.A.
And that's working, honestly. The right back, left back of the Galaxy keeps getting sucked in following that the inside run of the outside midfielder. And it's allowing Hertzog to get in behind, and they're playing that ball down the line. There's a lot of space there right now.
Jose Hernandez thought about playing it forward, then decides to send it back to Dupuy. And it looks like Reno going to get possession back right around the 90th, looking to get it in there for Mazovsky. And once again, Reno waved offsides. Select, the official ball supplier of the USL Championship and many of the finest leagues in the world. Since 1947, Select has been a leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit SelectSportAmerica.com. Alongside Sean Kane, Alex Margulies here tonight in downtown Reno. Reno 1868. Chance to vault themselves up in the Western Conference. They started the match tonight tied for 7th. If they can pick up 3 points, depending how some other things kind of settle elsewhere across the West, Reno could vault all the way up to 5th place. And that gets them in a great position, only 3 back of the leaders, Phoenix and El Paso. El Paso having a great inaugural season. That is New Mexico. All 3 of those teams with 26, and Reno almost connected there as Richards fed it right into Hertzog and just missed his second goal.
Great cheeky play here by Richards to just tap the ball around the defender and then get to it on the other side. You know, Hertzog, that's a tough angle, but I think he'll be disappointed with that effort there.
I mean, Reno has been relentless here in the last 10 minutes. And LA is going to have to do something to clamp down, or it could get out of hand pretty quickly with Reno's ability to score goals, as we saw a few years ago in this matchup. 9 goals in one game. I don't think we'll ever see that again. I certainly don't expect it. But right now, the way that Reno is getting opportunities, the floodgates could open.
Yeah, I mean, that's U.S. women's national team numbers right there, if you think about it, Alex. But, you know, you see Reno's certainly thirsty for blood. They're up high. They're pressing everything in the back. It's going to result in another chance.
Reno had 4 jerseys deep into the offensive side of the field. Mazovsky tried to take a crack at it, and too strong as Romero quickly puts it back into play.
And you see six Blues up in this area. You know, they want to win the ball here. They don't want to win the ball back by Carroll and by the goalie. They want to win the ball in this half and then go straight to the net.
Well, knowing that if they get a takeaway or there's a mistake made, they can capitalize very quickly. Augustine Williams, big strong forward, bowls over Lacroix. Now he tries to get around Kasipli, finds an opening for Hernandez. Hernandez tripped up, and that ball stolen away by Carroll. Nice job by the captain, Zach Carroll.
Yeah, that's well done there from Carroll. It's tough in that area because you're right near outside the penalty spot. You really don't know if you go diving in, if it could be a penalty. Obviously, he's already given one up on the handling, but it's well done from him to keep his ground, stay strong, win that ball.
Here's John Requejo. In there for Williams, looking to head it, and Carroll gets right in front of him. Once again, Agustin Williams, you see this size. This is a physical young man, the 21-year-old from Sierra Leone, who's had time in the USL with Portland, his first season in LA, and he has been an early target for the Galaxy. In there again, Williams trying to use that big frame of his to head it, and Reno able to escape trouble. You can see the size of Williams compared to everybody else around him. He is a physical specimen.
Yeah, he's certainly the target forward that you think about. You know, if you go into the European side, you think of Romelu Lukaku, Giroud, excuse me, of France. You know, those two guys, really big presences, can hold the ball up for you. You know, not necessarily going to run by you by any means, but they're going to hold that ball up, let your rest of your team step up, get your lines out, and then attack from there.
Richards putting pressure. Requejo now to the throw-in after the ricochet. And whistle goes against Reno here as we cross over into the 26th minute.
Alex, you see that patch of grass that's kind of different from the rest. That's where the infield is. Obviously, the Aces play here as well. I saw them before the game. Players, staff were looking at that kind of whole area. They were doing a lot of work to it, I think, trying to get it ready to be played, and we just saw a little slip there from one of the Galaxy players. Just something to keep an eye out as we go forward.
That's always the most difficult spot, no doubt, in the transition of fields, and kind of a big temperature surge here in the last couple of weeks, probably making things even more challenging for Reno's grounds crew as they have a tall order over the course of the spring, summer, and into the winter months of trying to service two different clubs. Richards feeds it in there for Mendiola, trying to get some space. Centers it. Almost there for Mazovsky. He tried to slide it in and just missed it. Duke Lacroix to Hertzog. Into Danny Mazovsky. Off the post. Oh my, that was close. And now a 2-on-1 fast break for the Galaxy, and Kisipli there to slide it out of harm's way as Lopez was in position to tie the game. So Reno nearly getting their third goal, and then a quick counter from the Galaxy. Now Reno's back at it with Cory Hertzog. To Mendiola. Trying to pull it. Oh, and he's going to rue that one. Raul Mendiola, if he tried to go left corner, he probably has himself a goal. Watch this here, but instead he pulls it.
Yeah. Yeah, he'll look back at that. He'll be upset. But I think that instance right there, and then the instance when Reno had the ball and Mendiola received it in the box again, is really two great examples of creating your own space for a shot when you're in the 18 of the opposing teams. Both times he was very, very well done with his technical skill, his footwork, to get open and create something for himself.
Corner kick coming up now for Seth Kasipli. 104th career USL appearance for Kasipli. He has started every game this year, and his 72nd time in a Reno 1868 uniform, one of the mainstays of this club. Back corner, finds Richards. Trying to center it. A lot of bodies in there. That was another dangerous opportunity as Reno once again almost had that third as they continued to put a ton of pressure on Abraham Romero and this Galaxy defense. Michael Gallagher will send it wide. Here's Requejo coming up from his left fullback spot.
Oh, that's a good ball.
Into Williams. And we have tied up Augustine Williams, his third goal, as the Galaxy do well here. That was an impressive ball in from Requejo, and Williams, talking about his size, using that length to his advantage as he sneaks in behind the Reno defense.
Yeah, there are a couple things here. A, that, as you said, a phenomenal ball. You don't got to be 6'3", 6'4", whatever Williams is to win that one. That's right on his head. That's going to be a goal 9 times out of 10. Reno needs to defend better there. They need to mark and track. Certainly the biggest guy on the field they need to take care of, but they just need to be in a better position there to clear a ball.
So it has been a game full of fireworks early. 4 goals here in the first 30 minutes.
Alex, it might not be 9-0, but we might hit 9 total goals today.
I think we might. Yeah, if that line was 8.5, I might take the over.
I'll tell you what, though, it's not. We're talking about it's not going to end 2-2. Obviously, you know this is going to be a 4-5-6 maybe for one side. That's going to take a victory.
Well, you see right now, I mean, Reno is both teams relentlessly on the attack.
Yeah, but for the Galaxy, though, it's really only been the one shot. Obviously, the penalty counts as a shot, but that's not in the run of play. For the Galaxy, it's really only been that one shot that's really gone in. Certainly, they've been dangerous, but not to the extent that Reno has been for the first 30 minutes.
Brett Richards keeps that one alive. Into Rivas. Nice touch there from Rivas as Hertzog was trying to get in there on the rebound, and Romero pounces on it.
And I think that's just Hertzog expecting that to come through as opposed to attacking it across the frame of the goal and trying to go back across the woodwork, if you will. And well done from Romero to step in there and win the ball.
Here comes Lopez again. Getting through the Reno defense, and Bersano twisted up there. Fortunately, came up with it for Reno.
And again, now we see Reno just pumping the brakes a little bit, trying to get back into the rhythm. I'm going to say that a lot because they're going to do it a lot.
Sam Galindo gets the edge and earns Reno a corner kick.
And again, we saw it there, Alex, you know, down the line. They pulled out that left back, easy kind of clip in to Galindo, who was the recipient of that one. You know, but it's been Hertzog, it's been Mazovsky, it's been a plethora of 1868 players that are finding that gap in behind the left back.
Here's Kasipli, 8 goals, 6 assists in his Reno career. Gallagher able to get in front of Richards, and Reno goes to the other corner.
Yeah, it's a great touch there. I think it was Vate Schultz on that header. That's an important win there because Richards puts that one in the back of the net if it gets to his head.
Long throw in from Richards now. Kisipli keeping possession for Reno. Back to Galindo. Some space for Richards. Punched away by Romero. Not out of harm's way yet. But Gallagher, or Schultz rather, gets it away from Mendiola as the Galaxy survive another Reno attack.
Yeah, well done from Romero there to come and punch. That's in that situation as a goalie, if you're going to come, whether it be the 6 yards it is or the 10 yards all the way out, if you're going to come claim that ball, you have to win it. You can't miss and then leave your defense in no man's land. So you have to come and win it, and he did a good job there, I should say, to win that ball.
Lively atmosphere here tonight on this gorgeous Saturday, June evening in northern Nevada. Fans here are loud. 3 different supporter sections spread out throughout the park. Battleborn Brigade behind the goal that the Galaxy are going towards. You can see them in their flags. Los Unicos kind of behind the home plate area doing their thing, and then behind the other goal. Now, behind the goal in the bullpen area, the Douglas Alley Renegades have moved down from their grassy area. Now they're in the bullpen right up against the chain link fence to get in the ear of Abraham Romero. So really, no matter where you're at as a defending player, you've got it coming from all angles.
Can't ask for much more than that. And probably a good credit is to the record that we see from 1868 at home this year.
Reno goals so far by Hertzog and Muzovsky. Lopez, a penalty kick. Williams, the equalizer, most recently in the 30th minute for the Galaxy. Tune in to ESPN 3 this coming Tuesday, June 18th at 7:30 for a special Tuesday edition of Wednesday Night Soccer as Phoenix meets Reno 1868 in the battle of 2 of the best in the West. It's the best match on Wednesday Night Soccer on a Tuesday, June 18th, 7:30, ESPN 3. Of course, we hope you can make it out if you're here in Northern Nevada and come watch it yourself. But pretty cool to see a little national publicity for this team in a match that should be fantastic. Again, last checked, Phoenix, they were leading against Orange County. If they can get the result and 3 points against OC, that would put Phoenix in a tie with El Paso at the top of the Western Conference standings. And it would be 4 consecutive wins for the Rising. Nice job defensively that time. Galindo got in the way. Here comes Reno on the counter. Mendiola. Galaxy able to regroup, getting 5 or 6 jerseys deep in their own territory and preventing that opportunity for Reno.
Yeah, because I don't think they get enough love. I just want to point out a brilliant play-on advantage by the referee there. Certainly a foul in the middle on the slide tackle from the Galaxy player. But notice Reno was still in possession, still had an opportunity, waited to see what would happen and allowed advantage to be played.
Throw goes from Lacroix to Galindo, the 19-year-old from Mexico City. His first ever start in the USL, just his second appearance with the team. As that one skips off the foot of Richards, and a throw-in will come now for the Galaxy. Who keeps your Reno 1868 players fit to win? Reno Orthopedic Clinic. Official team physicians and experts in the medicine of movement, Reno Orthopedic Clinic. 39th minute here in the first half, 2-2 our score. In the first of two matches within a span of 4 days, Reno back here, as I mentioned, on Tuesday against Phoenix. A big opportunity here over these next couple of days, including tonight, to rise up in the Western Conference. Conference expanded out to 18 teams, with the top 10 making the postseason. Mendiola won't give up here. And they're going to give a whistle to Reno, give them a spot just outside the box here.
And you see Hertzog talking to the referee there, and that's kind of why I jumped a little bit at that last tackle, is because whoever it was you see here, if they show it, yeah, 57, Omar Ontiveros came in with his studs up, and that's dangerous. Alex, that's how people get hurt, and unfortunately I don't think the ref followed it all the way there as he was making the foul call earlier, but nonetheless still an opportunity for Reno. Looks like Kasipli will be over the ball here.
Seth Kasipli into the wall. Galindo into the Renegades.
Yep, that one always going over. You'd like to see Kasipli do better there, especially from that distance. You have plenty of time to get the ball up and down over that wall and back on target. He'll be disappointed with that one.
Final 5 minutes here or so. We'll see if somebody can break through the lead going into halftime. And a whistle again goes against the Galaxy. Fans of the USL unveiled its elite youth platform, USL Academy. This allows clubs at all levels across the USL to develop its local youth and compete at the highest level across the United States, including the USL Academy Cup. For more information, visit uslsoccer.com/academy. Richards, punched away by Romero. Trying to find Mazovsky. Now the throw-in. Back to Rivas. Hertzog. Another chance there in front of goal, and Romero well positioned.
Yeah, great run there by Hertzog. Create some space for himself, getting behind the back line there. That back line is stepping out as much as they can to try and prevent those balls from happening, but Hertzog timed his run perfectly, stayed on side.
A lot of pressure. And Lopez trying to redirect the header on a ball that came in from Ontiveros. Mendiola surveying the defense. Now we'll defer to Richards. Over to Duke Lacroix on the other side. Good patience here from Reno. Mazovsky trying to get around Gallagher. Splits the wickets. Get it back to Romero in goal. Here's Lopez and Williams making another run. And Lopez earns a corner kick as that one goes off of Galindo.
Good damage control there from 1868. You know, pushing up there, had the ball down deep in their end in possession. Kind of a turnover, quick turnaround the other way. Well done from that was a back three at that point, just kind of absorbing the attack, delaying, letting their midfield get back to help, eventually deflecting a cross out.
Well, I think the Galaxy have done a much better job taking care of the ball at the back end of their field and getting balls out. That has definitely helped them stay in this game as we've got a 2-2 tie, and Reno able to clear that time. Rivas with Galindo in front of him, giving Galindo some space to run. Sam Galindo trying to work around two defenders, and he earns a corner. That was well done as the defense collapsed down, and Galindo did well to get some contact after the Galaxy, and now a corner kick with Kisipli going down.
Yeah, Reno will take the corner, but just personally, in my opinion, I think you want to see Galindo shoot that with his left foot there. We haven't really tested Romero yet in terms of a save. Yes, we've sent in a lot of crosses that he's punched out fine, but we haven't really seen him stop a shot yet. So probably start to pepper some more shots in there.
Carroll redirecting that one. Back out to Galindo. Over to Hertzog. Creating some space for himself. Goes to the left foot. That one ricochets. Mendiola keeps it alive for Reno. Crossing for Mazovsky. And Danny able to get Reno another corner kick.
We'll see if Galaxy defends this the same way. Certainly on that last one, Zach Carroll was a free jump with Romero trying to win the ball in the air. Don't want that. Carroll's the target most times on a corner.
Lacroix and Galindo. As we count down the final seconds here of stoppage time. 2 minutes added. You can see the clock about 15 or so left. We'll see how long they let play continue. Maybe a chance for one more Galaxy run. No, they're content just to take it into the locker room. A well-fought first half and some excitement, a couple of goals apiece. LA got up first, Reno had two, and then the Galaxy equalizing in the 30th minute. And we have got a tied game, 2 goals apiece here in the first 45 minutes. And tell you what, that was an exciting first half to watch.
Yeah, I think locker room talks will be pretty much similar in terms of LA will say, you know, we got to possess more. We did better of a job in the later parts of the second half, but we still have to, or first half, excuse me, but we still have to possess a little bit better. And the 1868 will say we got to finish. A lot of chances in the box, and they only have 2 goals to show for it.
All right, let's go down to the field. Julian Delgadio with head coach Ian Russell.
Coach, 2-2 game. What's going to be your message to the team at half?
Got to finish some chances. We had a couple off the post. We just got to bury some chances. They're a good team. They're good on the counter. We got to watch that. But for us, it's about taking our chances and scoring more goals.
Danny Mazovsky back in the starting lineup. First home game of the year for him. He gets a goal early on. How nice is it to see that progression?
Yeah, it's good for Danny. You know, he was out a long time with an injury. So to come back and get a goal, he had another good chance. I think he'll get another one.
Cory Hertzog, 7 goals in 5 matches. He seems unstoppable as well.
He's been on fire. He's in training. He's finishing every practice. So he's one that can score again as well.
Best of luck in the second half. Thanks, Coach.
All right, Ian Russell with Julian Delgadio as we head into halftime. It's Reno 2 and the LA Galaxy 2. We'll step aside with some halftime messages. Come back in just a little bit from downtown Reno.
Coming to you from USL headquarters, this is Steal Some Time. Here's the USL's Kelsey Steele.
Let's hop into the West. Out of week 14, the West was interesting this week. I want to start over in San Antonio and talk about this academy impact that's going on right now for Gallegos. If you have not watched that goal, you need to go back into the highlights and watch that, because this is a 17-year-old kid who created that entire play. Yep. He made that run. He demanded to get the ball back. Barmy hit him up, and he, made that one touch around the defender, finished it off, and it was gorgeous. A 17-year-old looking like a 25-year-old. Mm-hmm.
And put the team on his back.
Put the team on his back. How about Phoenix's commitment to Dollar Beer Night?
Undefeated.
If you thought that we were going to go through the show today without mentioning Dollar Beer Night, you are severely mistaken.
Absolutely, and for good reason. I mean, holy cow, not only is Dollar Beer Night absolutely a thing, but the goals. The goals on goals on goals, and Adam John, I will stand by this opinion. I will die on this hill. That should have been SportsCenter #1 out of the weekend. 60-yard ball over the top. Not even a touch. He just lofts it over the goalkeeper. I saw that and watched SportsCenter, and I was like, where is it? Okay, it's not number 3, it's not number 2, it's not number 1. I was about to just start tweet storming at SportsCenter on Twitter and just let them know, y'all got that wrong, man.
But elsewhere in USL Championship play, we had a few streaks end this weekend. Talking about over New Mexico and, unfortunately, Tampa Bay Rowdies. Their notable streak comes to an end.
I think if I'm the Rowdies, I have to see this at least as somewhat of a win. So follow me a little bit here.
Okay.
Brown to find Lacroix. Now it's Musa. Oh, what a hit! Ryan Brown. Oh, that is electric from Phoenix on the break. Nevada Field, a beautiful night here in downtown Reno. Saw Reno 1868 getting a little love there in that halftime piece as we talk about kind of some more happenings across the USL Championship. How about the U.S. Open Cup? New Mexico topping the Colorado Rapids in the round of 32. And now in the U.S. Open Cup, they will head to FC Dallas on June the 18th in a match that maybe we'll see a lot more New Mexico fans. Again, they had a couple thousand fans from New Mexico travel up to Colorado to be a part of that one. Tampa Bay Rowdies, they saw their 13-match unbeaten streak come to an end last weekend, and some excitement as they introduced a new supporters trophy for the No Quarter Derby with Charleston, and that was a wild one today. Tampa Bay and Charleston would finish in a 1-1 draw, Charleston scoring on a late goal to knot the score up. And then tonight, mentioned it earlier in the first half, but a rematch of last year's USL Championship Western Conference Finals. Phoenix and Orange County going head-to-head this evening. And at last checked, it was still Phoenix in front as the Rising go for their fourth consecutive win. At halftime, Phoenix leading Orange County by a score of 2-0. Phoenix, if that score holds, would move into a first-place tie with El Paso. And on the other side, Orange County, it's been a pretty disappointing campaign for OC after what they did last year. They come in a tie for 10th place, but again, this USL Western Conference very, very bunched up. As we take a look at the USL Western Conference standings, this is our standings coming into the action tonight. This was before kickoff, so you see Phoenix in second place with 23 points, but they have a chance to vault up. El Paso, they did get a win this evening, and now sitting in a current tie for first place with Phoenix. El Paso topping Tulsa by a 2-0 final, and you see how close it is. Only 6 points separating 1 through 10. And even a couple teams beyond that in the mix as well. So a lot of excitement right now in the Western Conference. We'll take a quick break, come back with more from Greater Nevada Field. We'll take a look at the first half highlights and get you set for second half action. Reno 1868 and the LA Galaxy 2 in a 2-2 tie here in downtown Reno. More United Soccer League action right after a quick break here on Nevada Sports Net. Back here inside Greater Nevada Field as we get ready for the second half between Reno 1868 and the LA Galaxy 2. And joined alongside Sean Kane, I'm Alex Margulies. Let's jump into our first half highlights, and things got going very, very quickly. A handball called against Carroll in the first 2 minutes, and that would give Frank Lopez a penalty kick he would bury. Reno, though, just a few minutes later, found Cory Hertzog as he tallied his 7th goal of the year. Then in the 10th minute, it was Danny Mazovsky as he was able to pick up his first goal of the 2019 season. Reno had a 2-1 advantage, but LA Galaxy with some strong opportunities on the offensive end, and they would continue to put pressure on the Reno defense. And they would come up with this one. Agustin Williams diving in on a ball that was fed in from Requejo. And that is where we stand. 2 goals apiece. Sean, I want to ask you, where do you think LA Galaxy was able to make adjustments on the defensive end? Because there was a period, it's kind of around the 10-minute mark, where Reno was getting some pretty incredible chances. Had a little bit of bad luck. Coach Russell talked about Mazovsky and the ball that went off the post and a few others. But after that, it seemed like the defense really clamped down. What do you think they did differently to try and hold back the Reno attack?
Yeah, I think it was mainly, and I hate to sound like a broken record, but they just limited those turnovers in that part of the field in front of their 18, in front of their goalie. You know, it's really difficult to defend when you're spread out because you have the ball and you want to be, you know, big and spread out for space and for openings, and then immediately turn the ball over, and then you have to get very compact to defend, and you're coming from, you know, the entire width of the field, and it often leaves you with 2-3 guys in the middle to defend what would be 6-7 of Reno. They limited those turnovers back there, or they were just content with knocking the ball a little bit longer, letting them get out, and then that's where some of their goals came from. Reno then turning the ball over in their part of the third on the field and resulting in some goals for the Galaxy as well.
When you talk about Reno as we go into the second half, besides simply just finishing the chances that they're getting, I mean, what does this team need to do to come away with 3 points?
Well, I think they need to be more careful when they push forward. I think a couple times we've seen it is that they really get confident, I think is a good word for it. When they start to move forward, they start to push both outside backs forward, kind of leaving Carroll and Galindo on an island in the back, and it's really prone for the Galaxy when they get the ball to just knock it long, and hopefully you can see Williams or Lopez running onto the end of it and trying to get a goal. I think they just need to be a little bit more hesitant when they push forward. You know, they can attack with 6, 7, 8, but, you know, if they turn that ball over, they have to be committed to getting back on defense, getting behind the ball, slowing the ball down to prevent any quick counters.
Coors Light knows cold. That's why they cold lager for a smoother, crisper taste, cold filter for brightness and clarity, and cold package for peak refreshment. So when you want to refresh with a crisper taste, just grab a Coors Light and look for the mountain on the can. In the mountain's blue, it's perfectly cold and ready to enjoy. Coors Light, as cold as the Rockies, available down the street. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly. So we're underway here in this second half. Reno has not lost a match this year. They are 3-0-3. And in the history of this franchise, they have lost only 7 matches out of 38. And we'll see if they can earn 3 points here tonight, which would move them into a very solid footing in the Western Conference. Here's an early chance from Williams. He's on sides, and Bersano is able to get a kick save. That was a great job by Matt Bersano, squared up with Agustin Williams, and you could see Bersano looking towards the line, thinking that that was offsides, but Williams did not get called.
Yeah, Galindo should be thanking Bersano on that one. He got just straight up beat over the top. Didn't drop when the head went down from the right back for that service, and Williams just outran him in that case.
Benjamn Galindo Cruz, the 19-year-old from Mexico, making his first appearance as a starter. He made 2 appearances in the top flight Liga MX last year in Mexico with Chivas de Guadalajara. Again, he's the son of the Mexican legend, Benjamn Galindo, who has scored 28 goals over his career with the Mexican national team. He played in the World Cup with Mexico in 1994. So an exciting young player. The Earthquakes getting some time for in Reno tonight. And with a younger player, maybe coming some youthful mistakes, but we'll see what kind of experience Galindo gets out of this one here tonight. There he is, getting the ball from Carroll. Back to Zach Carroll, once again wearing the captain's armband. He has appeared in all 14 games this year. One of the most experienced players on the roster, paired up in the middle with one of the most inexperienced. Lopez couldn't hang on to it as Galindo strips it away. Here's Gallagher up from his spot. Over to Schultz. Swing it around for Gallagher, coming in from his center back spot. Finds Lopez. Good patience here from LA. They're trying to find Schultz, who had a lot of space, but Galindo was able to intercept. And now a whistle near midfield on a collision between Dupuy and Hertzog.
Yeah, probably just a quick talking to there, nothing more from our center referee tonight, but maybe a tactical foul there from Dupuy. Obviously, Hertzog got in front of him to hold the ball up, and nothing more than just a little talking to.
More hard contact, and this time it could be a card, and it will be on Taveros getting a yellow card. First yellow of the night for either side.
Yeah, again, he's just trying to win the ball there. I mean, probably deserved of a yellow card. Probably didn't help that there was a pretty hard foul just 30 seconds before from Dupuy, but that's just one of those ones where you're going to try and win the ball. Sometimes you get beat to it and you just take your medicine.
Kisipli puts it back into play. Into Lacroix, now to Galindo. Over to Requejo. Ends up with Kisipli. Over to Rivas. And a lot of pressure from LA as that one is ricocheted by Jorge Hernandez. And now Brent Richards will take over for the throw-in. Didn't get that one where he wanted it to. Schultz into Lopez, trying to head it, and that one goes too much
just over 5 minutes in. Both teams still in that 4-4-2 that they started in the first half, electing to stick with, which is a really safe formation, kind of a basic, 4 defenders, 4 midfielders, 2 attackers is where the 4-4-2 comes from.
Throw in coming now for Agustin Williams. All right, he'll defer now for Raquejo. And another whistle comes, and it's against LA.
Silly foul there for the Galaxy. I mean, so deep in your end, in your attacking end. It's tough for Reno to get out of that spot right there. It's a very tight, compact spot. Requires probably a long ball into a turnover, but a foul there 120 yards away from your goal. Now a free chance for 1868 to clear their line, get up and get out, especially in the half for 6 minutes. That's been all Galaxy.
Much more tightly organized here in the second half, LA.
Certainly have been more protective of the ball.
Carroll gets it back to Bersano.
It's actually been Reno that's struggled to possess in the first 6-7 minutes of this half. They kind of look out of sorts, if you will.
Here's Duke Lacroix. Busting through the defense. Finds some space for Galindo. Into Lacroix. And it looks like a corner kick coming up for Reno.
Great individual effort there from Lacroix to get out of the back line there and go forward, eventually start the attack, send it out wide to Galindo, and then it ended up being Lacroix again back on the top.
Here's Kasipli. LA clears out, trying to find a counterattack for Lopez. And Lacroix defends. A lot more patience from LA as they continue to do well possessing. Possession shifting about 50-50 now. 51% for Reno.
Yeah, I think just a slow start for 1868 in that first 5 minutes. Just sometimes that's a part of the game, especially coming out of halftime. I'm sure Galaxy's all amped up 2-2 on the road, in a game that I'm sure a lot of pundits don't think they should be in.
Mendiola trying to find someone. Gets it to Richards. Well defended again by LA. Mendiola, though, goes for the rebounds. Driving himself inside the box, and an offsides called against Reno.
Yeah, it's the same thing with Galaxy down there. There's just no reason to commit a foul in that situation. Again, super far away from the goal. There's no danger there. And the only danger for the Galaxy is that they're actually in trouble of turning the ball over again in their own half or kicking it long. Now we just let them, get their lineup again, and almost there result in an opportunity.
Lopez trying to sneak in there. Once again, he's been the driving force of this Galaxy offense, especially in the absence of a couple of their big scorers. Kai Koreniuk with the U.S. under-23 team. Also missing Ethan Zubak, who has picked up 4 goals this year. Pretty impressive they've been able to muster 2 goals, considering about 70% of their goal scoring this year is not in Reno. That includes their bench and their starting 11. Only 7 of their 22 goals are accounted for.
Yeah, and coming from a Galaxy mindset in this kind of scenario, it's more of a how pretty is it going to be to more of a how are we going to score a goal? And that's what you saw in the first goal. They took a handball from Zach Carroll in the back and converted a penalty. So when you get opportunities presented to you, you need to put them home. And while the Galaxy, that's what they're thinking about, is we need to put away our chances. That's what Reno's failed to do so far today.
Here's Mazovsky. Trying to center it there for Hertzog. Rivas keeps it in play, and Sam Galindo gives Reno the lead. 3-2 as Sam Galindo on the rebound, his 2nd goal of the year.
Yeah, kind of a broken play there from 1868. You see the first, obviously you see a phenomenal half volley there from Galindo. Just no chance for Romero, too quick for him. He went the right way even, just right past him. A great finish.
Reno takes the lead 3-2 in the 60th minute. And their first score since Mazovsky found the back of the net in the 13th minute. And speaking of Danny Mazovsky, his evening is done as Aiden Apodaca, the 22-year-old from Upland, California, will make his 5th appearance of the year.
I didn't get the chance to look prior to the goal being scored. Didn't know if Apodaca was already up and ready to sub. But if he was, interesting to see Coach Russell's thought process, I should say, allowing him to still come on and substitute even though the team going up 1 goal. What this tells me is they want another one. They want a couple more now, as opposed to settling for just the singular goal advantage.
Apodaca started earlier this year in a game against Fresno. Made 16 appearances with the Bethlehem Steel last year. Scored a couple of goals. Drafted in the 55th overall pick in 2018 out of Cal Baptist. Richards making a deep run, trying to center it there for Apodaca. But possession going back to the Galaxy. So Reno in a familiar territory with the lead. We'll see if they can close out the final 30 or so minutes of this one. Looking to pick up their 6th win of the year. And a chance to go to 4-0-3 here at home. And a victory that could get Reno into a tie for 4th place in the USL Western Conference. Hertzog able to stay on sides. LA catches up. Gallagher able to get past Lacroix. Williams. Lopez trying to go bicycle and couldn't control it. But a good look there for Williams and Lopez. Again, those two have been very active in this game.
Well, you just see Williams again as a threat in the air for the Galaxy. Obviously, he scored the second goal for the Galaxy, but there really hasn't been anyone that has matched him in terms of winning a ball in the air for Reno yet. I think it's been, Galindo Cruz that has jumped with him the last couple times, and it's always been Williams that comes away with it.
With 10 teams now making the postseason in the West. Gets back into second. Reno again. And defended this time by Romero. What I was going to say is 10 teams now in the West. You really want to be in the top 6 because then you don't have to play in the first round. There's kind of a play-in round as the bottom 4 teams will duke it out in order to kind of get into that top 8. So you're looking at Reno right now. They came in tied for 7th. Again, if they win, they could get into a tie for 4th. And these matches are very important of getting the difference between 3 points and just 1. You know, those are the kinds of matches at the end of the year. You know, maybe the difference between Reno finishing top 6 or even top 2 when you look at it. I mean, there's still a very realistic chance for Reno where they are positioned to be in a spot where they could finish in the top 2 of this conference. And, of course, that's where you want to be, hosting as many games as possible in the postseason.
Yeah, I'll let you commentate this real quick.
Apodaca! Aiden Apodaca! And Reno's running away now. It's 4-2.
The super substitute, Ian Russell, looks really smart right now, putting him on. Just a great finish here. Takes it with his right. Puts it back across the frame of the goal. Again, Romero, no chance.
Beautifully done. Apodaca, his 2nd goal of the year, and his 1st here in a home uniform. Had one on the road in that match against Fresno, and he gets one here tonight as Reno takes a 2-goal lead.
And now I would expect to see Coach Russell and 1868 become a little bit more defensive. Obviously, they've been prone to late tying goals, late winners in the USL this year. It's 2 of them happy to be here at home early in the season, so they don't want to take any chances. They'd like to see this game out as it is. And Alex, I want to go back to what we were talking about before, the top 10 being in the top 6. Across all competitions, whether it's Europe, here in the USL, if you look at those top teams in the table, they're going to have really similarities in terms of they don't lose at home and they find a way to get points on the road, right? So Reno, in terms of at home, has done a really good job of not losing those points. They don't drop 3 points. They're either getting 1 or 2, and that's what you really want if you want to make that push into what you said, that first kind of bye week for the playoffs.
Chance here for the Galaxy. Richards got in the way of it. Well, and I think for Reno, come to the end of the year, this is not going to be a place opposing teams are going to want to play, especially as you get into late October, early November, when it's cold, you're at high elevation, you're at the end of the season where your legs are a little heavy, and playing at elevation is just a little bit tougher than it is certainly maybe at this time of year.
Yep. Especially the cold is a factor. I mean, you're going to have teams, New Mexico, the Phoenix Rising, coming up here playing in 30, maybe 40-degree weather. It's going to be cold. And as much as you want to say, that probably doesn't affect them, they're professionals, it does. It really does. If you're used to training, I should say, in 70, 80-degree weather with the sun beating down on you, and then you got to come out here to overcast skies, brutal winds, and some frigid weather, it's going to play a factor in that game.
Reno organizing again. Here's Galindo. And Galindo earns a corner.
And we've seen Reno be really good at this kind of part of the game the last few matches, especially against the Lights when they were home a couple weeks ago now. They went up 2-0. They could have just put the car in cruise control and coasted the rest of the way, but they were hungry for that third, for that fourth goal. They wanted to keep scoring, and that's what we're seeing here.
They ended up getting a 4-0 result in that game against Las Vegas. Once again, it's Kisipli. Punched away by Romero. Mendiola gets it back to Kisipli. And the Galaxy will clear.
And the other thought about it is it sends a message to the rest of the USL. A 3-2 win at home against the 13th place team in the league isn't a scary message. It's we're just getting by here right now. 4-2, 5-2, heck, 6-2. That sends a message to the Rising that are coming here on Tuesday to play. That sends a message to the other teams that are fighting for that 6 and above, that 10 position to get into the playoffs, that heck, we don't want to go to Reno. We don't want to go play at Greater Nevada Field.
Galindo the clear. Goes back to midfield. Over to Schultz. Reno almost had a chance there. Apodaca, Hertzog, and Lacroix in kind of a triangle formation. And LA able to break that one up. Lacroix trying to get back on defense now. Schultz gets away from him. Finds Lopez. And Lopez will earn a corner as that one goes off of Benjamn Galindo.
That's well done there from Galindo Cruz to block that service. When you're a defender, center back, outside back, whatever it be, and that ball gets down in that corner there, your first thought is it can't get past me into the box. It's got to go out somewhere else.
Here's Jose Hernandez. Richards heads it. Second chance wide, and a goal kick coming up for Matt Persano. Fans follow Reno 1868 and the rest of the USL Championship all season long on ESPN+. Home to the USL, MLS, UFC, and more. Join the over 2 million sports fans who have already discovered ESPN+ and watch the championship live every week. Sign up today, ESPNplus.com. Alongside Sean Kane, Alex Margulies here tonight, 72nd minute. Reno scoring a pair of goals in a 5-minute span. Sam Gleedle in the 60th, and then Aiden Apodaca in the 65th to give Reno a 4-2 advantage.
And you're going to start to wonder now how long it's going to take Galaxy to make a switch, to try and switch something up in terms of the way this game is going. They haven't had much success in the last 10, 15 minutes after coming out very strong in the second half. It's kind of been all Reno since they've started scoring those 2 goals. And they have all 3 of their substitutions still.
You know, and I think for Ian Russell and Reno, sure, they would love to continue scoring, and that's always going to be a part of their game. But I think the way things have gone for them sometimes in the second half, I think he would love to see over the next 18-plus minutes no more goal scoring and to come away with that 2-goal coming across to be it.
Yeah, well, there's kind of a mentality when you go into a certain time period up goals. It's one, your first and foremost priority is that there's no more goals scored on you. Whether you're playing for a shutout or you're coming into the second half and you're up 4-2, the first mentality is we can't give a goal up. Then the second mentality is, okay, now how many can we get? Can we get that next one? And then the third mentality is let's push for the third, the fourth, and the fifth. But that first and foremost thought when you're playing in a lead situation is no goals.
Well, that was a scary moment for Schultz. He almost headed it into his own goal. And a corner kick now coming for Reno into the 74th minute.
And for Schultz there, you know, that's a really tough situation because you don't know what's going on behind you. So you let that ball run across your body, and I didn't see who was there at the time, but they're coming in and intercepting that, and it's probably a goal. So he's got to make a decision right there. Do I go big out or do I just let it go for a corner? He made the right decision because you always risk kicking that ball, laying it down in the box, not getting it far enough out. Gives you a chance to regroup here.
Simply far for Richards. And it looks like it was last touched again by L.A. L.A. got the game's first goal. 3rd minute, Lopez on a penalty kick after a handball from Carroll. They had a brief lead that was tied in the 7th minute. Reno's been in front most of the rest of the way. Galaxy able to clear. Carroll racing back. Tries to cut it off at midfield. Williams racing down the sideline. Didn't have anyone to feed it to him, though. LA slows up a bit now, trying to be more patient and a little bit out of sorts there as Reno now will take over as that pass went past Nate Schultz, who was kept going. Here's Galindo. Not a bad try there, trying to feed it in there for Apodaca. Good ball movement, good touches between Hertzog and Galindo. And you see Reno do that a lot. That kind of 1-2 touch on the side of the field and give some space for whether it be an outside back, whether it be a midfielder. But that's something that they really perfect at times throughout matches. Ooh.
Yep.
And that's going to be a whistle. Big contact coming from just outside the box as Galindo crashes into Jose Hernandez.
Yeah, Galindo will argue he got the ball, but second look at it, doesn't look like he gets the ball at all.
Well, it's hard to tell, too, because it looked like Hernandez was slipping before the contact was even made. I'm not sure if we can take one more replay at that.
Well, he certainly was slipping, but Galindo just misses the ball and just goes straight into Hernandez. Yeah, lands on him too.
Kind of a tough spot there for Galindo, trying to avoid contact. So a good opportunity for the Galaxy from just outside the box. And we'll see who's going to take it.
All 11 for Reno. Back behind the ball on this one.
Hernandez and Kobe Hernandez Foster, who checked in a few minutes ago. Foster, number 54, joining Hernandez, 53. And coming off is Jose Hernandez. A lot of Hernandez's. Popped in the air. And Reno defends. And keeps it a 4-2 advantage. Because Sipley heads out of trouble. Now Galindo. And a corner kick. Bersano able to get that one out of harm's way. Cory Hertzog there.
And that's on Taveros, who's already on a yellow card. I don't know if... Oh. There he goes. I was just about to say, I don't know if that's a second cautionable offense. And Alex, I don't think it was. I think he got that for his mouth, but...
So he is done. On Taveros heading to the locker room. And a frustrating second half continues for the Galaxy after taking a tie into the second 45 minutes. They played well in about the first 10 minutes, keeping a lot of possession, kind of keeping the pace. But it's been all Reno since Sam Gleedle's go-ahead goal in the 60th minute.
Yeah, and they've played pretty decent outside of that 10 minutes that Reno really kind of dominated. I mean, Reno really hasn't, maybe it's more because they've been a little bit more defensive as we talked about, but there hasn't been a whole lot of pressure from Reno even past the half line, much less in that attacking third.
Now Reno will have the advantage over the final 10 minutes as they look to close out their 6th win of the year. Galindo, Cruz, all the way back to Zach Carroll. Hertzog almost saving that one. Fans, you can get updates and alerts all year long by following your club on ESPN.com. Search Reno 1868, then click the follow button to keep up with the latest news and scores. Plus, get reminders on Reno's next match. Go to ESPN.com now and click follow for your club.
It becomes a lot more easier now for Reno. Obviously, the man advantage, creates a lot more space on the field. You'd be very surprised to see how much more space is on the field just by removing a single player. Especially what it looks like is Galaxy is electing to stay 4 in the back there. So they're only going to have really 5 in the attack to Reno's 8 essentially defending. Although their left back, as he's on the ball now, okay with pushing up.
Williams tries to keep it in. Galindo feeds it to Lacroix.
Oh, you got to be better there. Sorry, that's easy. I mean, you just got to give him, just let him run after it. You don't have to play it to his feet there. He's got 40 yards of space in front of him. Just put it out there for him. Let him go get it.
Just a little bit ahead. More quality chances, though, for Reno as they look to close out the final 7 minutes. Here's Hertzog with Lacroix. Duke Lacroix almost had that one as Romero able to play it as Duke Lacroix made things interesting.
Lacroix just trying to chip that one back post, trying to be a little cheeky there rather than hitting it with power. Couldn't fool Romero. I don't know what Romero sits at, but it's got to be over 6 feet, and it's tough to chip a goalie with that kind of size.
For injured bones, joints, and muscles, skip the ER and head for Rock Express, the orthopedic urgent care that's faster and more affordable. Details at renoortho.com. Lopez gets tangled up with Galindo, and a whistle goes against Frank Lopez. And other offsides as Hertzog trying to pick up another goal tonight.
Yeah, I'll agree with the AR there. Just a half step off. I had a really good look at it, to be honest. It happened kind of right in front of us there. But now you see all this space coming about. You know, again, pushing, trying to make up 2 goals, being down a man. There's just so much openings out there for 1868. Yeah, it shouldn't go unnoticed. I know Sam Gleedle's got a goal today already, but his defensive work in that midfield spot has been absolutely phenomenal, especially with the willingness of Lacroix to go forward sometimes. His recovery runs, his ability to win the ball on the backside, as you just saw there, that shouldn't go unnoticed. I think that's something that Ian Russell will take more out of this game than, you know, his half volley that he had to put him up 4-2.
Galindo making his 6th start of the year. Joined the team last year. Did not see action during USL play, but did play in some of the friendlies. Hung in, got a chance now to crack into the first team. And certainly making the most of it, picking up his 2nd goal earlier tonight. 23-year-old from the UK.
That's what you got to stop. You got to avoid is those turnovers right there. You don't want to give Galaxy hope. You haven't really put this game away yet. I know there's only 5-6 minutes left, but 1 goal changes everything in this one.
Papadoka got tangled up. LA got 2 first-half goals, one by Lopez on a penalty, and one by Williams in the 30th minute. They've been quiet since. Mendiola kicked that one out of play. Reno's goals, they got Hertzog's in the 7th, Muzovsky in the 13th minute. For Hertzog, he now has 7 on the year, second only to Brian Brown. He's gotten all 7 since the 5th of April. Muzovsky, his first goal of the year. And then 2 second-half goals by Galindo and Papadoka for both of them, their second tally of the year. Galindo trying to get to that one. Schultz beat him to it. Galindo still pressuring. And Reno once again steals it away.
Yeah, you'll see here just Casiple with a little bit of skill there. Not a very great ball in from Galindo Cruz. You don't want to lead your holding mid, your 6 in the middle like that. That's how you get people blown up. That's how you get people hurt. You want to play it into their feet, but it was good from Casiple there to just tip it around.
And Reno once again offsides. A reminder, tune in ESPN3 Tuesday, June 18th at 7:30 for a special Tuesday edition of Wednesday Night Soccer as Phoenix meets Reno in a battle between the two of the best in the West. It's the week's best match on Wednesday Night Soccer on a Tuesday, June 18th, 7:30, ESPN3. Final seconds of regulation as Reno continues with a 2-goal advantage after taking the lead in the 60th minute of this second half.
Yeah, and I think Ian Russell and 1868 will be happy with this. I think the way you look back at this, kind of a tale of two halves. In the first half, you had a lot of chances. You weren't able to finish. The second half, yeah, you came out slow, but you took care of business. You put away your opportunities. And then you sat in and did your job and protected a 2-goal lead, essentially. Gave up no goals in the second half. And at the end of the day, you really only gave up one real goal in the run of play. The second one, a handball and a penalty early on. So I think they'll be all right with this. And, you know, it's certainly a stepping stone on their way to a really big game on Tuesday.
And 3 points here tonight gets Reno into a top 4 positioning. A lot of soccer left, but that's where Reno wants to be at this point in the season. Sure, they've given up a lot of points here at home and on the road in some games they couldn't close, but despite all that, Reno at the end of play tonight will be only 3 back of the leaders.
With the leaders coming here on Tuesday, correct?
Exactly.
So a chance really to jump into first.
A big opportunity over a 4-day span, and Reno taking care of business here in the first leg of that. Part of a really competitive stretch for Reno. After Phoenix, they'll get Portland's on the 26th, and the Timbers right now, the other team, tied for 4th with Reno. It's another team that has played well here in the early goings. Second leg of the Donner Pass Derby, June 29th. Saturday here at Greater Nevada Field as the Sac Republic will make the trip over the hill. Reno getting the best of the Republic in Sacramento earlier this season. A 4-1 victory back on May 11th. Can Reno add one more? No. Close for Aiden Apodaca, who tallied a goal in the 65th minute, and DuPois just got there in front of him after he beat the keeper.
Yeah, you know, Romero's in no man's land there. He comes out looking to claim, and then he stops, and then he comes out again, and Apodaca just beats into the ball. And surprised Apodaca didn't go down there and try and draw a penalty. It seemed like Romero got him as he went by, and I guess that'll do it.
Final whistle here tonight. Reno victorious. 3 points. A 4-2 victory on the LA Galaxy. A strong night for Ian Russell as they exchange handshakes with Mike Munoz and LA. Reno picks up 3 points, now 6-3-5, and they get to 23 points after the first 14 matches of the year. And again, Reno now into the top 4 in the Western Conference, behind only Phoenix, El Paso, and New Mexico. For the Galaxy, they drop now to having lost 3 of their last 7 matches. And overall, 4, 6, and 6. They'll stay at 18 points. And 13th in the West for LA, a team that started hot but has cooled off here in the last couple of weeks. Julian Delgado is down on the field. Cory Hertzog, who scored his 7th goal of the year.
Cory, 7th goal of the year. You guys get the win. How good did that feel?
Oh, it's a good feeling when you win at home and get 3 points. It was a tough one last week, so this was a must-win game for us.
You get Danny Mazovsky back in the lineup. He gets a goal as well. How nice is it to get him back in the lineup?
I think this is another game where 4 people have scored or something like that. So, I mean, it's coming from everywhere. So it's great for Danny to come back in and score a goal and all that. But when everybody's scoring like this, it's hard to stop us.
3 points you guys get out of this one. It probably is going to vault you up to 4th place or so in the USL. Team's just gelling at all cylinders.
Yeah, it's playing well. We're playing well. Unfortunately, last week we kind of had a letdown. That should have been 3 points coming back home. Yeah, we should be a little higher in the table than we want, but the wins are wins, and it's a good win. We'll come on Tuesday.
Quick turnaround for this soccer club. How do you guys recover?
Just rest and just get ready for Phoenix. Enjoy the win for a little bit, and then focus on Phoenix tomorrow.
Cool. Best of luck. Thanks again. Appreciate it. Back up to you guys.
You know, Julian and Cory talked about that. Just the depth. I mean, the amount of weapons this team has. And we're talking about a lineup that tonight did not have Brian Brown, did not have Lindo Mafeka, and yet still 4 goals, and it came from 4 different players. That speaks volumes about this team.
Yeah, I mean, if you're Ian Russell, you can't ask for much more. 4 different players scoring, missing arguably your best all-around goal scorer. It's a good sign for what's to come for the team. Now he knows that he can rest certain players when he needs to, knowing that he'll get production out of the rest of the squad moving forward.
All right, 4-2 the final here tonight. We'll take a quick break, come back. Highlights from this one. Coming up next, Reno tops LA. Back here inside Greater Nevada Field where the celebration is on. Fireworks soon to follow for the several thousand that packed it in here tonight. And with Sean Kane, I'm Alex Margulies. A lot of fireworks on the field in this one. Reno and LA combining for 6 goals. The pace seemed like maybe we would see 7, 8, or 9 goals in this one as both teams were impressive offensively in that first half. But it would be Reno with 2 goals to none in the second half of play. And Sean will take a look at the highlights now. For Reno, it would be kind of a testy first 15 minutes, but then Sam Galindo on the rebound, an impressive goal there in the 60th.
Just a great hit there. I mean, look at that. Power, laces through it, clean. Can't ask for much better than that.
A few minutes later in the 65th minute, Aiden Apodaca, just seconds into his substitution, able to bury that one past Abraham Romero.
Yeah, and you see Galindo with power. You see Apodaca here with a little bit of class and finishing ability here. Just clips it right past Romero.
Apodaca, Galindo, their second goals each in Reno 1868 uniforms. As Reno puts together 4 tonight, they now have 30 goals on the year. And Reno continues to be one of the best goal-scoring teams in the entire United Soccer League. With 30 goals now on the year, Reno in a tie for third in the entire USL when it comes to goal-scoring production. So Ian Russell really pulling all the right strings, and with all this depth, this is going to be a dangerous Reno team over the rest of this 2019 season, and they'll be put to the test come Tuesday. Can't wait for this one, Sean. Tuesday night, Reno taking on Phoenix in what could be a preview of a potential matchup in the Western Conference playoffs.
Certainly a big one for being, so early in the season. As we said, Reno, an opportunity now to jump into a tie for first with Phoenix if they were to take all 3 points on Tuesday. And as Phoenix goes, a good chance to get 2 games ahead of the people below them if they take a victory.
All right, Sean Kane stepping in here tonight. On Tuesday, John Ramey is going to take over for me. The voice of the Wolfpack will be on the play-by-play call. He'll be joined by Brian Slusser, who did a game a couple of weeks ago. Those two on the call for you on Tuesday night right here on Nevada Sports Net. Coverage will start at 7:30, kickoff shortly thereafter from Greater Nevada Fields. That's going to do it for us here tonight on a beautiful evening in downtown Reno. Reno 1868, 3 points, and continuing their vault up the standings in the Western Conference. Thanks so much for joining us. For Sean Kane, I'm Alex Margulies. Good night.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.
Yeah, exactly.